Hey guys, welcome back to Vic Ferrari's Garage. Today's going to be on newbie welding. And what I mean by that is I'm a newbie, but I'm going to teach you something that's going to help you get started way earlier. Something like that. So, cover a few quick points that nobody covered with me. I haven't had anybody teaching me. I've had to go off past experience of MIG welding, which I thought was going to transfer straight across. It doesn't. But I'm going to help you out. It's going to get you started way quicker. You're going to use up a lot less rod, a lot less frustration, a lot less of a lot of things. So let's jump into it. So first off, your helmet, if you don't have a decent helmet, I wouldn't suggest TIG welding. For some reason, the helmet is very picky about the arc on the TIG welder. This one has two sensors in the lens. I'm gonna get a helmet here in a few days. I already ordered it from Lincoln. It was a $250 helmet, but I don't want to go blind, so I'm good with the price. It has 4 pickups. I'm hoping that cures the problem. This helmet is working great. It is a $48 helmet. It's an eBay helmet. This is a $50 helmet from Harbor Freight. They both do the same thing. They don't like TIG welding stainless steel or regular steel. They turn on and then they immediately turn back off and you get blinded. And they don't come back on. I don't know why. Aluminum, it does okay. So get the right helmet. And it's not a setting problem, okay? 2, either wear a coat, cover up your arms so you don't get a burn on your arm, cancer or whatever. I know this is all basic, but trust me on this, it has a point, okay? If you don't wear a coat, you can wear a sleeve, okay? There's good reason. When you're TIGging, I don't know how many times I've burnt my arm. This aluminum absorbs heat. So when you're MIG welding, you can be up here MIG welding, it never gets hot down here. When you're TIG welding, this whole thing gets hot, okay? When I bought my TIG welder, I got the Lincoln 200 square wave. I bought it, and the guy said, first thing you need is a calf skin glove, a thin one. That way you can feel the rod and it makes you an expert. Okay, I bought the glove. And guess what? It actually came with the other hand too. Isn't that amazing? So, in a 3-day period, did not realize it was happening, but this is too thin of a glove, and I had my hand on the part, and over 3 days' time, I literally cooked my muscle. And all of a sudden I had a blister show up. I had hard muscle because it was literally cooking it into a piece of steak. And it's been almost a week and a half now, and it's starting to heal, but it sucked. That hurt for days and days and days. So I didn't even know that I was cooking my muscle. So get the right gloves. I would get a thicker glove, and then maybe even get the TIG finger so that you can slide your finger on the metal. I'm ordering one of those, but definitely have a glove that you can hold your torch in, okay, that can handle a little bit more heat. At one point when I was welding, I even had to tape another glove to my hand to keep the heat out. So whatever you got to do to keep the heat from getting into your skin, do it. So the proper gear has a purpose on this. MIG welding, I could do it with bare hands and everything else. It was no big deal. This, whole different animal. So let's jump into the TIG welder. It's hidden over here, but the amperage setting I found that works well for me, beginning with 90 thousandths aluminum and 60 thousandths aluminum, is 100 amps. That's working well for me, 100, 110. I'm losing my mind. The AC balance, somewhere between 65 and 73 has been working well, usually 70. That's 70 input and 30% cleaning. And then the frequency I've been using is about 110, 120. Works really well, but I'm still experimenting with all that. That right there will get you off to a great start. And then you're gonna fry holes and melt and destroy everything you touch, okay? I've got 28 years of MIG welding, and I don't wanna pat myself on the back, but I'm damn good, okay? The TIG welder, I burned everything. I destroyed the tip, I destroyed the rod, I destroyed my project, I'm surprised I didn't burn my house down, okay? Here's what I learned, and it cleared up a lot, okay? I was changing amps, I was changing frequency, I was changing all that. Don't. Just set what I just said a minute ago. 100 amps, 70-30, and like 125 to 100, somewhere in there on frequency. Take your tip, make sure it's got a good tip on it, make sure it's ground to a point. Make sure that it is set to whatever your cup size is outward. So if you got a number 7 cup, it's close to 3/8, set it out about 3/8. Shorter is okay, longer is not okay. Okay, you'll lose gas coverage and introduce oxygen, and now you get a shitty, dirty weld. So then here's a big thing for you. Your angle. Okay, when I watch those guys in the video, I swear to God, they've got it angled over here like this. But I'll tell you what, as I'm welding, even the slightest bit of an angle is going to start melting this rod before you can get the rod to the puddle, okay? So that's one issue. Make sure you're as close to possible as straight, you know, maybe a little lean can help direct your puddle. But pretty much when you're starting out, try to be as straight up as you can be and be able to still see your arc and your tungsten. 2, you're not just tipping this way, you're tipping this way or this way, and you can use this to help angle it to get that right. 3, get your rod and don't feed the direction you're looking down your rod. Feed sideways, because when you feed this way, you have no depth perception, and the first thing you'll do is touch your tungsten. And when you do that, if you're not grounded properly, it goes right up the filler rod, and it electrocutes your neck because you didn't realize you were touching your neck under the helmet. And that sucked ass. You ever been tased in the face? So the other thing is make sure your ground's good, because it'll also arc into your arm. Ever been tased in the arm? I don't know if I'm sure it'll kill you. But I got shocked pretty good twice. I don't know if it's you know, I don't know how the flow works, if it stays on the surface of your skin or goes through your heart. I don't want to find out again. It sucked. But going a little bit sideways so you can see when you're about to touch the tungsten. Okay? Don't go straight on. So get going and fill that way. Okay? The other thing is, this washer is 10 thousandths of an inch. lay it on your project and drop half the distance down that washer. That's how high you really need to keep your tungsten, is about 5/1000ths off your work, maybe 3/1000ths. Make sure that when you're dipping your filler that the puddle doesn't rise up and touch your tungsten, okay? But as soon as you start lifting your torch, you're gonna get these big ass ugly burn spots like this with the melting action. As you lift up, your arc gets hotter, same as a spark plug. As you lift, the arc gets hotter. It starts to immediately melt away your aluminum. So the closer you are, the more controlled your arc and the cooler the aluminum stays. Soon as you lift, you can see this big burn area that happened because my arc went real wide. It got real ugly. It made a lot of noise. It scared me at first and I pulled away. That made it worse. So stay in as literally as tight as you can without touching that puddle, all right? Let's talk foot pedal control real quick. This is the biggest thing. I'm gonna give you a hint. This is your turn signal. This is your steering wheel, okay? That's your gas pedal. You're already used to using this, you just don't know it. Let me tell you why. When you're cruising down the highway, you're using a TIG torch pedal. So this is gonna make it a lot easier for you right out of the gate. Drive it like you're on the highway. You ready? When you're getting on the highway, you're at the top of the on-ramp, you're at a stoplight, you're stopped, the light turns green, you're getting on the highway. Don't be afraid to go ahead and get going. Floor it until you see that puddle appearing. Too much time easing into it will overheat the metal and you won't form a puddle. You're just putting heat into the metal, but you're not creating a puddle. So finally, the heat gets to a point where it just blows through. If you just jump on the gas pedal full throttle, get your puddle to appear, the heat of the metal will start soaking in, but you get your puddle to appear, you're at the bottom of the on-ramp. Now you're ready to merge into the cars, okay? So you're full throttle, you're coming up to the end of the on-ramp, the puddle's starting to appear, and it's starting to flow like traffic. You need to start flowing into traffic, which means you need to adjust this pedal just slightly to get into the gap open in the traffic. At the same time, you got to start filling the gap with your car, okay? So all you're doing is getting down the on-ramp and then flowing into traffic. Use the pedal to flow in. If your flow starts getting too hot, you're going to rear end the guy in front of you. So you need to back off the pedal. But do you just jump off the pedal on the highway? No. You'll get rear-ended. Do you jump on the gas? No. You drive it 1 mile an hour at a time, either slower or faster. If your puddle's starting to get too hot, too big, flattening out, you're not able to get filler in quick enough and it's getting an opening on it, a crater, back off 1 mile an hour, 2 mile an hour. But that's it. Don't jump off the pedal. Don't take 25 mile an hour off the pedal. If you're starting to frost up and your flow's going away and you're not able to melt the rod, give it 2 or 3 miles an hour of gas. Don't jump back in and floor it, okay? So drive it like you're on the highway. If you're melting through, ease off. If you're getting too cold and you're not flowing, you can't feed, ease back on, okay? You're driving between cars. That's all you're doing, all right? That helped me a lot because I was doing this stuff And then when I would back off, I would do this, and then it would get too hot. I would get too cold, and I'd have to jump back in. I was jumping in too hard, and I was melting it. And that's what's happening. I get this dirty, crappy, shitty stuff. So just set your flow rate on your argon. If you're on a number 7 tip, you times it by 2. That's your flow rate, 14. If you're a number 10 tip, set your flow rate at 20, times it by 2. Keep the arc as tight as you can get to your puddle. Don't ever extend it, okay? So don't try to freehand because you're gonna be all over the place, shaky. Older guys are even more shaky. Make sure you got heat protection so that you can lay your hand on there and actually work. So I hope that helps. My neighbor came over the other day. He's never tigged in his life. And I put him on a piece of metal and I told him just what I told you. Ease onto the gas, ease off the gas. Jump on it until you see your puddle, back off, then drive your puddle. If your puddle cools down, get back on the gas, a little tiny bit. Don't rear end the guy in front of you. If your puddle's getting too wet, ease off the gas, but don't let the guy behind you rear end you. Okay, drive it like you're on the highway. So Vic Ferrari, I hope this helps. Take care. Hit the like button. Don't watch the video and don't hit the like button. That doesn't help anybody. If you watch a video that somebody put time into, hit the like button. All right, have a great day.